I want to tell you one of the great stories from the history of American civilization. It's the story of an American political leader who turned to devotion to the Blessed Virgin Mary at one of the most tragic moments in his life. This figure is Henry Adams. Now, the Adams family helped to preserve America through all of her early history, the American Revolution, the War of 1812, and the American Civil War. And Henry Adams was very aware of himself as a child of this American political dynasty. He realized that he was part of the WASPs, the wealthy white Anglo-Saxon Protestant elite who dominated American politics and American culture. He realized that he was a child of the Mayflower, a child of Lexington and Concord. The way that he put it was, I am an American of the Americans with I don't know how many Puritans and patriots in my ancestry. His brother. He became the sole guardian of these 5 young girls from a family with a long history of depression and suicide. And it was at this moment that Henry Adams turned to devotion to the Blessed Virgin. He realized that he needed a strong female role model for these young girls. He realized that he needed to give them some image of feminine strength. And so this American of the Americans with I don't know how many Puritans and patriots in his lineage, someone who had been raised among the white Anglo-Saxon Protestants of Boston and gone to Unitarian Harvard, turned to find this role model for his nieces in the strangest of places, the last place that you would have thought he would turn. He turned to Mary at the foot of the cross. He turned to the image of Mary in Michelangelo's Pietà, holding her dead and divine son. He turned to Mary pondering in her heart the mystery that a sword would pierce her own soul at the foot of the cross. He turned to Mary as Stabat Mater, as the mother who stands as a pillar of strength at the foot of the cross. And so this is what Henry Adams has given to us, right? Is this vision of the importance of the feminine principle of contemplation in culture. Something that sometimes in our dynamic American culture, so mobile, so driven by material excess, we sometimes forget the inner strength of contemplation, which is given to us in this Catholic practice of contemplating the mysteries of the Rosary. And Henry Adams knew that devotion to the Virgin Mary was not a cultural value from long ago that we should leave behind out of cultural relativism. He realized that devotion to the Blessed Virgin Mary was alive in the 20th century world. He realized in the dark days of World War I, when it seemed like Christian Europe was committing a kind of suicide of its own, right? That Germany and France and England were at each other's throats in the trenches of World War I. And they were committing a kind of demographic suicide, a destruction of European population, which we haven't even really recovered from 100 years later. Henry Adams got his nieces together in his home in Washington, D.C., across the street from the White House, to sing these hymns to the Blessed Virgin Mary, to sing to Our Lady as our hope, Spes Nostra. He realized that just as devotion to the Blessed Virgin Mary had thrown beautiful blue stained glass all across southern France, that even in the 20th century, devotion to the Blessed Virgin Mary was still flourishing in devotion to Our Lady of Lourdes and Our Lady of Fatima and Our Lady of Guadalupe. He wanted us to understand, right, that we study history in order to recover perennial values from the past, which are insights, rational insights into the human condition and what human beings need to flourish. And so Henry Adams taught us, whether it's in the dark days of our own life or in the dark days of our historical culture, to turn to devotion to the Blessed Virgin Mary in all of the tragedies of our life, as a light in dark places when all other lights go out.